morning. It is Tuesday the 4th. Yeah, Tuesday the 4th of June. And we are trailer hunting. We're looking for... we're just in the yard at the minute. Trailer number 85. We've got ourselves hitched up to it. We'll continue on with the day. Right there. Alright, rather long way. That's because I've not got my seatbelt on. So we've had a little bit of an early one. This yard this morning. A little bit of an early one. We started at 4:30. Now I've got the truck ready. All we need to do is find the trailer. There it is. Just the usual. We are going to line up the edges. Whip out and make sure the handbrake's on. Visual check around. Trailer, lift her up. We'll go around, do all our trailer checks and make sure everything's secure. We shall see you shortly. Right, so that's woken us up. We've got the everything secured, strapped down, curtains closed. Once, instead of going south, we're going north. Just need to remember to go the right way on the motorway. Let's have a window closed. Yes, we are heading up towards Wakefield for our first one, and eventually working our way over to Hull. In between somewhere as well. One-stop stores. then I'd imagine we'll be heading over for Kellogg's at the end of the day. Quite a busy day ahead. We've not got a huge amount on, there's only kind of a couple of pallets each. But, still going to be doing the mileage. That should be a good day, all in all. I'll keep you updated with everything as we go along. See when we get to the first one. Although no doubt we'll end up chit-chatting along the way. It's been quite good actually, it keeps me awake, keeps me refreshed, makes me think. Try and get some interesting camera angles throughout the day. Let's try and do something a bit different excuse me, every day. Whoa. Morning throat. Be alright when I've had a cup of coffee. Right, that's us onto the A46. We're going to head over towards the M1. Pretty much all the way up the M1 to our first drop of the day. It's an absolutely amazing sunrise this morning. Turn some lights off, turn the camera around, give you a bit of a look. I'm not sure how well it's going to pick it up. Hopefully you can start seeing a bit of pinkiness, the sun creeping through the trees. Well, I can anyway. The camera's probably at a different angle, but that's a shame. Maybe when we get round the corner. What is it? Red sky in the morning, bit of a warning. I just think it's going to be a lovely day. Perhaps the warning is going to be red hot suntan weather. Here it comes. Wait for this. I bet when you see this back on the video, it's probably just going to be all whitened out. It's really incredible. Really incredible. Anyway, we're a minute into the video and I'm getting a low battery warning because it's a GoPro. We'll charge it up, we'll stick it back in the power bank and we'll catch you in a bit. There we go, just coming off the M62. From what I remember, the place we're going to, I've been here once before. I was trying to rack my brains as we were heading this way. I think it's an old brewery or something, this place, that's now been converted into a warehouse. So it's just off the M62. Let's try and concentrate a bit as we come round this roundabout. Well, we've done alright for time. It's 7:37. We're booked in here for 7:45. We literally are just around the corner from it. It's a bit of a fiddly roundabout, this one. Let's see if I can remember which lane we need to be in. I think I missed it last time. The trouble is with these roundabouts, everybody knows where they're going, except me. I think we're okay this time. I think we've done alright. And if I remember right, the camber of this roundabout that we're about to see, that's up near where we're going, is quite amazing. You kind of twist and rock and roll all over the place. follow that truck. I always thought I was the black sheep. It's funny, there's a lot of these places that I just cannot remember until I actually get there. I know I've not got the world's best memory. Other places, I can remember no problem at all. I kind of remember this little bit, and I remember the roundabout. I think last time I went the wrong way. I went up to the right because it's so new, because they've just changed hands. It wasn't on. Yeah, you can see what I mean about this roundabout in a minute. It's all over the place. I think I went right last time, so there was no information about the place at all. So when you see trade team, you just think it's like a builder's yard or something. But they've actually changed hands, and they're now doing all kinds of stuff. We'll have a word with the guys in Goods In. We haven't got that many to get off here, I don't think. We've only got 3 pallets. So we'll get these off, and then we move on to Normanton for one stop. I think this was fairly quick last time I was in here. Anyway, we'll see how we go, and catch up with you in a little bit. Yeah, so just for the confusion, it's as you see on the signs here, as we get a little bit closer, it's trade team, welcome to Leeds. But the actual information I've got is Tingley Falls. And there's nothing on my paperwork that says trade team, which is why I got a little bit confused last time. So you can understand sometimes if you haven't got the proper information, or if they change the name of the place. It's very difficult to pinpoint these places. Quite often you might see trucks wandering around aimlessly, obviously lost because of something like this. 99% of the time everything goes alright, but then the odd 1% you get places like this where you end up having to do a bit of digging around and ask a few questions. Oh, well, that's drop 2 done. We're just coming out of one stop at Normanton, and we're going to make our way over to Hull now for the 3rd drop, Turner and Price, another cash and carry type of place. It's about just over an hour from here. We've been in one stop for just over an hour and a half. Just landed as they had a break. So, we're kind of running back on time again now. We were over an hour early at one stop, so although they've taken a while, it's not actually lost us any time, because I wasn't due in there till 10:30 and it's only 20 to 11 now, so we're kind of back on time. So hopefully we won't have any further issues through the day. One of these places, they definitely don't like you turning up late. Some of them will take you in an hour early if you're lucky, but they do prefer it if you're kind of in like a 15-minute window. Personally, I like to turn up, have my doors open and ready for presenting the load for the time that's been booked in, but as we've seen, it doesn't always happen for many different reasons. So we've got about an hour now up to Hull, across to Hull. hopefully the views will be alright across the bay. We'll go to a little trading estate right in the middle of Hull. Yeah, it should be fine. We should certainly be there on time with a bit of luck. Right, we'll leave you with it and we shall see you in a bit. This next place that we're going to, Turner and Price, over in Hull, you pull up outside their building. The guy comes out with a forklift and a little pallet truck. So if you saw my video yesterday, Monday the 3rd of June, if you saw my video yesterday you'd see me using a pallet truck, and it's the same over here. It's not often you go into places and you're expected to assist this way. Normally they just lift things off the side with a forklift. Now I know they do from time to time here, but they do tend to prefer to let the driver climb in the back of the trailer and use the pallet truck or the little pump truck to bring the pallets down to the back of the trailer, and then he drives the forklift, the guy that works here. He brings the forklift round and takes them off the back of the truck. So you lift them up, turn them round, plonk them on the back of the truck, and then he comes with his forklift and takes them off you. And one of the biggest differences between doing the Class 2 and the Class 1, especially where I work, and I'm not saying this is all across the board because I know people work differently, and their equipment levels are different. Now, for us here on the Arctics, we don't carry pump trucks and pallet trucks, and we don't have tail lifts under the majority of our trailers. So 99% of the time you're either unloaded or loaded from the side with somebody using a forklift, or like yesterday they hand you a pump truck and you assist with unloading, but it's very, very rare, very, very rare. There's some places we go into that you get an electric version. So you'll go onto a bay, you'll open your doors, you'll reverse onto a bay, and then you'll unload yourself using an electric pump truck. I don't know what you call them. It's like an electric truck because you don't have to pump it. An electric lift and drop truck. How about that? For this next one that we're going to, usually he'll lift a pump truck up for me, and I'm going to try and set the GoPro up again, see if we can get some other dodgy angles. Now the ones I did yesterday, I suspended the GoPro from the side of the trailer. We've got some supports inside of the trailer. In this particular trailer there are no supports, so we're probably going to have to do it from the floor. So it'll be a different view of it. And we haven't got many pallets to get rid of this time. I think we've only got 6, maybe 5 or 6 pallets. So it shouldn't take too long with a bit of luck. The longest bit is them taking the pallets to bits to check the stock that's been delivered. They've got to count it all and make sure everything has been delivered that they've ordered. So it's a little bit different. When I was on the Class 2s, we used to have tail lifts on the backs of the trucks, and we used to have the pump trucks, and quite often you'd be expected just to lift the pallets up and down off the back of the truck using a combination of the two. You still did quite a few places where you'd either reverse on a bay and they'd unload you, or they could still unload using a pallet truck. Now obviously if you've got a curtainsider, then that's how you operate. You've got all them different ways of loading and unloading. Some trailers are solid on the side, same with Class 2 and 7.5 tonners, and some of the 3.5 tonners. You know, some of them have got curtain sides as well. It's not just the Arctics or the Class 2s, the whole range of vehicles with curtains fitted. So there's various ways that you can get stock on and off the back of your vans and trucks and anything else that you might drive. So the biggest change for me was actually it's less work on the Class 1. You maybe go further and we're definitely out more, but with the Class 2 there was definitely more work involved with loading and unloading. But of course, because you're a bit smaller, you're a bit shorter, you can get in and out of places a lot quicker than you can with an Arctic, in theory. But I've also seen with the Arctic, because you can get in and get turned round quicker in an Arctic than you can in a lot of places with a rigid. Even though the rigids are only 2/3 the length of an Arctic, the turning circle of an Arctic is much smaller than a rigid truck. So it's a bit of a mix and a match, and definitely between the two I do prefer the Arctics. I am used to driving coaches, driven them for many moons, many years, and the sheer size of some of the coaches, some of the triaxles that I used to drive, they're getting on for the size of an Arctic. And so when I found myself in the Class 2, I was a little bit uncomfortable, if I'm honest, because I'm used to larger vehicles, and I've just found, especially steering Class 2s, you just seem to be turning and turning and turning. You know, if you want to go around a little bend, you've got to turn the steering wheel 40,000 times to get around the corner. With an Arctic, it's a bit more like a car. You know, it's a bit more positive with the steering. So I think driving an Arctic is, in some respects, easier. In other respects, it's a lot harder. You know, you've got an awful lot more that can go wrong behind you. It's a bit more responsibility. But equally, you know, I'm not a snob when it comes to what anybody drives. I mean, I've started with an escort van and worked my way up to this thing. Driven everything and everything in between, and I have thoroughly enjoyed driving everything that I've driven. So there's no snobbery going on here. I might point my finger and laugh a few times and think, I used to do that. But it's certainly not malicious. It's certainly not malicious. I take my hat off to anybody that drives, even these little Tesco delivery vans and the Asda vans. You know, it's just a glorified box van, but some of the places that they go in and out of, you do have to take your hat off to them. And I've seen them squeezing through our estate where I live in Warwick. Now you think, do you know what, I actually wouldn't want to take my car through there. And I'm sure they sometimes look at the Arctics and think, my God, I wouldn't want to take this little van through there. So we do have mutual respect. And again, as you saw by my video yesterday, I'm quite happy to sit and let drivers get out of the way, you know, to make my life easier. I try and, just because I'm a bit bigger than a van doesn't mean I'm going to bully them out of the way. It's a lesson really, because the more you bully your way through, the harder it becomes. You know, just let people get out of the way for you, and you get a better name for yourself on the road. That's my theory anyway. So we're still 11 miles, about a quarter of an hour away from where we're going. We've got a little, whatever it is, in front of us doing about 48 miles an hour. We'll get there eventually, and we're not due in there anyway till 12 o'clock, was it? Yeah, 12 o'clock, and at the moment it's only 11:30, so we'll be there for 1:45. And again, this is another place, Turner and Price, that I wasn't too sure whether to trust the sat nav on it. Again, it came with a postcode, and it's a good lesson for the guys that are just starting out in the industry that aren't quite used to using sat navs. Just remember that if you rely on postcodes to get you to where you want to be, you're going to be bitterly disappointed. You've got to do a bit more homework than that. You've got to have a look on your maps, you've got to have a look on your Google Maps, and then you can program the sat nav to take you to the exact point that you want to be. And I have got videos on this, so you just need to scroll back through a few and you'll see how you can do it, what can be achieved. I was chatting to somebody the other day and he was asking me, so what TomTom do you use? I said, I've got the 6200. And he just said, oh, that's a load of rubbish, that one. He said, I had to make a delivery and it was in a 7.5 ton area. I said, right, well, what you were driving? It's a 44 ton Arctic. So it wouldn't let you deliver to a 7.5 ton area. And he said, no. I said, right, well, what's rubbish about that? And he said, well, I wanted to go there, but the sat nav wouldn't take me. And I said to him, well, just imagine if you had to deliver to the other side of that 7.5 ton bit, and your sat nav wanted to take you down the 7.5 ton bit. So then you've got a reason not to want to like your TomTom, but because it's actually doing its job, that's not a reason to dislike it. All it's doing is advising you that you shouldn't be taking that size of truck to that location. But you can manually override it as long as you are confident that you are legal and safe to do so. And he went, I've got no idea how to do that. Said, right, so really you're rubbishing your sat nav because you don't really know how to use it. And he went, yeah, I suppose you've got a point. So don't just expect just to plumb a postcode in, because if you just plumb a postcode in and you go to a trading estate, it's going to take you right to the middle of the trading estate potentially, rather than where you want to be. It might also take you to the front of the building instead of the back of the building, or something like that. So do your homework and follow my videos. Have a look at the sat nav ones that I've done. They're pretty much clearly labelled up, so you can work your way through them. But this is another place where I wasn't too sure where this place was, so I pinpointed it using Google Maps, and I then transferred that over to TomTom, over to my sat nav. And I will do another video to show the process at some point, just to keep it clear in your minds. But anyway, we've rabbited on long enough. Blimey, nearly 13 minutes. So we'll love you and leave you for a bit, and we'll see you at the other side. So here we go into the road to Hull. There's a song in that song. And we're just a few minutes away now from our third drop. We actually do a couple of places around here. We do there's a caravan spot that we deliver floor into. Like the vinyl floors, the caravans, lino. I haven't heard that word for a while. Take your time, mate. I've been here quite a few times now, so I don't know where I'm going. I said that before, didn't I? Road kind of nips in here, so you've got to be careful of anybody coming up the outside of you because they end up on top of the roundabout. Just recording this bit because I know there's a few of my friends that either come from Hull or visit Hull quite a bit, so, or haven't been to Hull for a while. You're not going to see much of it, I'm afraid, because we just turn off just over this bridge, but you never know, it might just bring back a few memories for somebody. And if you can just see the bridge in the distance over to the left of the bridge, it's the first time I've noticed that. Oh, God, I've been here loads. First time I've noticed the bridge. Anyway, that's me for you. I remember the first time I came in here, I thought, oh God, I'm going into a residential area. I think I met like a Maserati or something on this corner, bright green one. So I'm always careful now. It's kind of a sports car place. Just in case you're wondering, I've had to plug my battery charger back in, and unfortunately it shares the same port as the power lead, so you can only have one or the other. So if I've gone a bit quiet, that's why. So Atlas Leisure is the other place that we're doing. It's just up here on the right, a bit further up. I think I've done one of my vlogs things at Atlas when we had to reverse in, I think. I remember. Might be another life. Turnaround price are just up here on the left. We have to pull in and book in and then pull forward and then do our thing with the pump truck. Unless he wants to take it off on the side, of course, in which case then we don't. This bit always reminds me of going on the Channel Tunnel, except if I was going on the Channel Tunnel I'd have to go through that building on the left to get onto the train. We come along here and we go and book ourselves in, just this little bit here, and then we just pull up. If you can see the green truck just ahead of us, that's where we end up. I think they're on lunch. We shall soon see.
That's it, I can't see a label on this one. You got any missing, you know where it is.
So we've come out of Turner's in Hull, and now we're going to do our last drop, which hopefully we'll be at before 2 o'clock. We're due in at 2 o'clock. This is over in Scunthorpe. There's a couple of ways we could have got to this one. We could have gone back around the motorway, around the long way, or we could go over the Humber Bridge. Now, of course, the name of the game is to do things as cheaply as possible, and the less costs that are involved obviously maximises profit. But when you've got tight margins, sometimes you have to think, now, do we do the toll roads to save a few miles, or do we go the long way round? Now, the difference between getting to Scunthorpe using the toll road is about half an hour. It's about 20 miles further if we don't, and another half an hour longer time wise. So it's a bit of a no-brainer really. It's kind of 6 and 2 3s, but because the cost of fuel, I mean, remember these things only do about 10 miles to the gallon. So it's actually cheaper and more efficient for me to use the Humber Bridge. And it means I have to pay for it out of my own pocket, but I can claim it back, and I get it back in a couple of weeks. I'm quite happy to do that. It makes my day a bit more productive. It's a bit cheaper for them for work, as opposed to an extra half an hour plus the extra fuel. So it kind of makes more sense really to do the bridge. So we'll do that. I'll give you a bit of a view going over the Humber Bridge. It's quite a nice day. I say it's a nice day, it's a bit stormy, but it is quite a nice day. It's nice and bright, it's fairly clear, and we get to see a bit more of Hull. When the traffic lights change. There we go. All round checks. Quite a pretty stretch of road, this one. Shame about all the rubbish though. I suppose you get that wherever you are these days. is actually quite warm today. We're at 20 degrees. 1 just after lunchtime. This is a recap. We've been on the road since we started work at 4:30 this morning. We're out on the road shortly after 5 o'clock. Had a couple of hold-ups just because places have been on breaks and shift changes and maybe a bit slow from time to time, but hey, that's how it goes. Get paid by the hour. Take as long as they like. Take all day. I'll park up in your yard. In the nicest possible way. We do have to pay to go over the bridge. I can't remember how much it is, about 12 quid I think, something like that. Probably completely wrong, it's probably about 70 quid. It's never that much. I always feel a bit more confident if I've got kind of a full load on when I'm using the bridge, but I've only actually got one pallet on. If you think you're spreading the cost over the whole load, then it's not too bad, but when you've only got one pallet on, it is a mixed pallet, there's a bit of all sorts on it, but even still, if you've got 12 pallets on still, and then you have to use a toll road, you kind of think, well actually, spread out amongst all the pallets, it's not so bad. I do always feel a bit guilty about using toll roads, but yeah, sometimes you've just got to weigh up the costs and think, well, if it's 6 and 2 3s, cost wise, but it's going to save me half an hour or an hour, then yes, I'll use it. If it's fractionally different, you know, if you're a couple of miles difference, then it's not really worth using. You might as well just go around and use the other roads. You just have to weigh it up, and of course it depends on the company that you work for. Some of them won't bat an eyelid, but others you either have to use a bit of common sense or just build up a bit of trust. I think they know I wouldn't use a toll road unless it made sense. I've been on the road long enough, not just with these things but coaches as well. I've been on the road long enough to think, okay, that's actually viable. I don't do it just because it's a bridge and it's got a view. I do it because it makes sense. Approaching the toll booths. You have to pay before you go over, and we're a big high vehicle, so we need to make sure we're only doing 30 miles an hour when we get to this bit, and we go through in the left hand lane. I weren't far off, 12 quid, that's fine. Just keep a ticket, attach it to the paperwork, get my money back next weekend. It's alright for me. Straighten the camera up a little bit. That works. The trick is here is to remember to ask for a receipt, because once you've gone through, that's your only chance. If you want to come back and get a receipt, it's going to cost you 3 times as much. Hello mate. Can I have a receipt as well, please? Can't hear the beep from up here. That'll do, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I've got to claim it back, you see, so that's alright, that's fine, yeah. Thanks a lot mate. See ya. Yeah, so I always try and have a little bit of a chat with them sat there. Oh dear. Fix it again tomorrow. Always try and have a little bit of a chinwag with them. Even if it's just a hello and can I have a receipt, and you know, a bit of a smile. They sit there all day, every day, poor things. Coming over the Humber Bridge. One way the water goes out to sea and the other way it doesn't. I think it goes that way out to sea and that way it doesn't. That's helpful. Well, we can do 50 across here, but I'm just taking my time just so you can enjoy the views, if there is a view. Plus there's no real rush and it's a little bit windy. Quite happy sitting at 40. Take it all in. Now there is a little bit of a walkway on the side of this one, and I believe it's absolutely fine that you can walk across it or ride a bike. I might be wrong, probably am. I do believe. Yeah, yes you can. There's a sign there. Go, there's your Humber Bridge, you can have that on me. Anyway, we're still about 15 miles away from our drop-off point at Scunthorpe, and then we have to come back to Hull to do a collection. That's got to be down in Northamptonshire tomorrow for 8 o'clock in the morning. So the sooner we get this one done, get picked up at the other side, the sooner we can start heading back south. Oof. Thanks for that. Splat right on the windscreen. Anyway, we'll leave you with it for now, and we'll catch you up in a bit. This is another one that wasn't listed on Google Maps or anywhere else, come to think of it. So it's Nisa that we're looking for. Hopefully this has brought us right to the doorstep. So, with a bit of luck, we're at the right place. Yeah, there we go, existant. Keep in the right hand lane. I'll have a little look and see what this is all about. Right, well, we've made our way back. We've done the last drop, but we've had a bit of a hitch. So we're heading back over to Hull. We're coming over here anyway because we had a collection to do. Just going down towards Kettering for the morning. But our last delivery, we had one pallet that had been refused, and my collection is a full load. Weight wise and pallet wise and space wise and everything else is a full load. So we're now having to go and find Keedwell's yard in Hull so we can drop this pallet off. I believe the collection is also to do with Keedwell, so I think we're going to be picking up some paperwork when we go in there. But the actual stuff that we're picking up is not where we're going to be dropping this pallet off. So we've kind of added a little bit to the day, but nothing too major. And we've just come across the Humber Bridge and heading back in towards Hull. Hopefully we should be at Keedwell's in the next 20 minutes or so. The time's now 4 o'clock. It took them a while to do the delivery. It was only one pallet, but there was quite a bit of stuff on it. So they refused about half the load. Don't know why. Not my well, it is my issue because I've now got a pallet on that I shouldn't have, but I can't change that. I can't do anything about that. So you kind of go, okay, can't worry about that one. They just have to deal with it and tell me what they want me to do, which they have done. So we're going to go and get rid of the pallet and collect the instructions for the collection. So it's 4 o'clock now. Started at 4 this morning. We've still got time to play with, but the trouble is with this time of night, or as I know it's still early afternoon, but any time after 5-6 o'clock in the evening, trying to find somewhere to park can be a bit of a mission, because everybody parks up. The truck parks and everything are always chock-a-block full. Now normally this time of night, especially if I've got to go somewhere as far as I'm travelling, I like to try and make a bit of headway. I like to try and get as far as I can, which then maximises the day tomorrow. But as it is, I think I'm going to be parking fairly close to Hull. I'll maybe get an hour or so out of Hull. I've got a couple of places in mind. But then of course I've got quite a long journey in the morning, which will take up nearly half my day tomorrow. So then you become a little bit unproductive for the following day. Now that's not my fault. It's not really anybody's fault. But that's unfortunately just the way it goes sometimes. But the thoughts are there. I wish that pallet hadn't have been there, because then I know I could have got well over halfway to where I need to be. Obviously the more hours you've got to play with tomorrow, they can ask me to do, and the more profitable it'll be for them. So this swings and roundabouts, these things do happen. The weather's got horrendous over here, it's really windy and chucking it down with rain. I don't know if the microphone's picking up on it or not, but I don't know where it's come from. It was lovely before. Anyway, just in case it is a bit noisy, I'll leave you with it and we'll catch you in a bit. Well, I came to get rid of my pallet and I couldn't get into the yard, and then I managed to get in the yard and now I can't get back out again. It's an unmanned yard that they let me into, and I seem to be staying here the night now till 7 o'clock in the morning. That's definitely been one of them days, but never mind, at least I'm safe, I'm secure. I'm in a locked compound with no way of getting back out again, which is quite funny. At least if I can't get out, no one can get in, I suppose. Oh well, we'll start again in the morning, unless anybody turns up in the next hour or so. But I certainly won't be getting loaded tonight, not now. It's 5:30, so there's not enough time to get loaded tonight and back on the road again, so it makes more sense just to stay here. I'm happy with that. So I think we'll pull the curtains round and say good night. We'll see you tomorrow.